guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is actually my second video. For those of you already know me for a while, like I want to really be consistent and accountable for how often I post, and starting with my first video. And I know it's super late at night. It's actually 12:14. My hand may shake a little bit just because I'm filming from my phone, and right now I have camera at home, therefore I don't want to like spend extra money on new camera. I don't think that will worth the investment until I get it back, and I was still filming it from my camera. But I can give you guys a room tour, sorry. And since we're at here and you guys can see, this is my bed, just my desk. And I like that everything in my room is like purely either beige or black or white, or it's like creamy colors, or just like a bit yellow, and it just gives me a peace of mind. And you know, every day my morning routine is actually waking up and you know, making my bed. I think that it's really important to always keep your room clean. I do have my bag on the floor, but yeah, I like how the setup is looking like. And I'm currently in Boston, Massachusetts. I don't know if I mentioned it, but you know, I think that the apartment rent here is actually very expensive compared to where I live in Michigan in the past. But I like to have my own room and my own bathroom, which I, you know, in the past in Michigan I used to share, and I just like that peace of mind, and I like to make my room in a certain way. So I'm really into like minimalistic, so I don't really put a lot of things in my room, as you guys can see. And that's the hallway. I do have I did get this for Thanksgiving. Actually, this is the Airman speaker. I don't know if I can turn it on, but whenever I turn it on, like the eyes will get lightened up, so that's a really fun investment. Like I play, it's a speaker, so I play music within it. It's a really good vibe when it comes to night and I have to work on something on my computer, and I just like play something on my speaker, and it's very chill. But yeah, today I just wanted to talk something in regards to momentum. I know my first video we talk about New Year resolution and why it's important to set big goals. And you know what's funny is that when I come to every time I check my IG page, especially during the January 1st, the January 2nd, everybody's talking about New Year resolution and just in general how to approach it. I personally follow a lot of like business owners and entrepreneurs like Gary Vee and other different creators. So they have different like content on how to make a resolution. A lot of people say don't just make goals, instead of like make daily habits, which I think is so important, because a lot of time we have a goal but we don't know how to approach it. Making a habit, for example, building a daily to-do list, or what we say something that a list that reminds you things that you need to finish by the end of today, in order to keep yourself in that headspace of always focusing on the things that matter. So today I actually want to talk about something really similar, and it's called momentum. I believe a lot of people heard about momentum, and the reason why I want to talk about this is really simple. I guess coming from a goal setting perspective, momentum is something that you do every day, even though you do something really like you do a little amount, a small intensity, compared to you do everything a day. And I think it makes so much sense when you're actually a gym person, because you don't go to gym one day, workout for 2 or 3 hours just intensively. Okay, personally I am not like a certified gym expert, so if anybody on the platform is doing certain ways like this and it's working out for them, I think it's totally fun. But I'm just saying in general, people can't just go in for the first day doing a lot of things and still feel disciplined to go 2 days, 3 days, 4 days going the same intensity. I believe that it's really important to start and then keep it as a consistent and slowly building that momentum up. And momentum meaning that you do things consistently, and whatever you're doing, that small action, after continue it for 10 days, 20 days, and 30 days, I would say preferably 90 days, it will become a habit. People say 21 days to form a habit, but I think it's more than that. Personally, I think it's more than that. So one example I use is reading books, like reading 10, 30 minutes per day. So for me, I would deliberately do things that will keep me in the headspace of reading books. For example, I live really far from school. Actually, I live like 40 minutes away from school. I have to take a train every day. For some people, that commute time, they'd be like super stressed out. They'd be like, oh my god, I don't know, I have nothing to do. I talked to one of my friends, and the person was like, oh, I spent so much time waiting for my bus. And I was like, instead of waiting, why don't you bring something like listening to a podcast, or just like, have a book in your head so you can read it. So that's how I approach it. Like I sign up to live further so I can like read a book. So that, like, on a train, I read pretty much 30 minutes per day. So that's called momentum. It's really easy to fall off, because once you're kind of just like stop doing it, it's really hard to pick it up. Another thing is that whenever you're doing a goal, that you just need to understand that in the short period of time, you cannot see a great result, a return of result. So one thing I noticed with the book examples, I used to read with no intention. I just read it for fun. I read so much book in 2020. I think it's more than 30 books. And I personally have so many favorite, in which later episodes or videos, I will actually give you guys some suggestion that the book give me guidance on which I implemented in my personal life, and it worked in either fixing my bad habits or starting a new habit that generates return or results for me, actually. And a lot of books, everybody probably already heard of it, but they never really got into the headspace of reading them or finishing a book, or actually get something that's useful from the book. But let's continue with the momentum. Like, you guys will know, like, when you go to the gym consistently, then you will become obsessed with this. Like, it's really crazy, because when you start doing things and you become like, the habit become obsession, which is healthy. A lot of people are saying that obsession is not, but obsession is when it comes to healthy habits, like going to the gym, eating healthy, cooking your own meals, and then you pretty much figure out a routine. It become a automatic system, like ingrained it in your heart. Like, it's something you wake up and you're like, this is what I gotta do. And the momentum, it's hard to build for one reason, is because people don't see the result in the first 10 to 20 days and they quit, and they never know when the big breakthrough point, when you generate compound effect from it. With that being said, a lot of people go to gym 20 days, didn't see that they lose one or 2 pounds and they quit, right? But a lot of people go into the gym after 3 months, they see that they start becoming lean, and they are actually more like, they feel more comfortable going to the gym. They probably felt very weird if they actually can't go there. That's something beautiful about momentum, because in the initial building stage, it's really hard because it's a habit, but then you kind of starting to have this compound effect. One thing is actually funny. I've been reading The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It's such a great book. I suggest everybody to read it. I read it for my business purposes, but it's great because it talks about how you can make your dream a reality. Like, if you're just talking and setting as a goal and putting on the wall, that is just a wish. It doesn't have a deadline. By compounding effect, this book is such it's a holy grail. It gives you example about, for example, momentum in saving monies. A lot of guys, we're like, right now we're entering recessions, and a lot of us still doesn't have that like finance literacy. I don't think school really taught us how to do it, but how we can compound our money by not only invest but saving, be more conscious about money spending habits. When it talks about that is to have a better habits. For example, keeping your budget, which is something, this is one of my something I've been working on, because I used to be an impulsive money spender, and let me tell you, this is definitely not great. It's definitely a bad habit and red flag to be aware of. And by having a habit of keeping track of your money on a weekly basis, and be aware of how much money you delegate into each category, like food, groceries, something like, it should be common sense by now, but I feel like a lot of people talk about it, but it's really hard when you do it, because every time when you're impulsive spender, you look at your spending sheet, it's a crunch, guys. It's a crunch. You look at your spending and be like, ooh, what did I just spend on? Ooh, that just hurt. And I know for me it's the same thing. I have been doing this since beginning of 2022. I slack off a little bit, picking it up October. I could not blame it on my parents or teachers for not telling me how to save or invest or keep track of my money. Couldn't blame them for this. It's my accountability to, to learn skills and knowledge into how to track your money. So that's a sign of a momentum, meaning that you keep doing things on a constant basis. And yeah, with coming back to the book, this is something I will also talk about later. It talks about so much about how your habit can compound. If you learn the compound word, what that means is that it's exponential growth compared to linear growth. You don't just grow as a line, you grow pretty much exponentially. And this is something that you need to understand with the power of momentum. And I think the second point I want to talk about it, then I will be done, is that a lot of people think you can be motivated. A lot of people say, I want to be passionate towards doing something. And when you actually run your own business, or if you actually dedicate yourself to something for more than 90 days, you'll feel at some point you probably are not even passionate. You become super nonchalant, even annoyed of doing certain things. But that's when successful people have the trait of carry it on even though they don't feel like it. It's not motivation, guys. It's discipline, and momentum built through discipline. A lot of time one of my friends recently talked to me about my own videos and my Instagram, because I was going hard on it. I've been posting pretty much 2-3 times for pretty much 2 months. I know it's not like a good record, but this is really good momentum. Keep going. And they're asking how I do this. I was like, a lot of time I don't even feel motivated. I don't even know what to say. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I look at myself in the phone, in my face. I'm like, shit, I really do not want to do this right now. But I set a rule for myself to post on a daily basis, or there's 1-2 times I didn't post on daily. Like, I waited another day, and I had excuses, and it was on my fault as well. So I was 90% of my time I was posting pretty much on a daily basis. And it's because now I love what I post. I don't love always post and not having people respond to me, but I still do it anyways. I don't do it for likes. I do it for adding values, guys. And that's exactly why I think, even though right now it's like super late, I want to talk about momentum as a great attribute that everybody should work on. And it's not born, guys. Nobody is born with that mentality. And it's hard because discipline means that you do things that makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel like, I just don't want to do it. Like, let me do it tomorrow. Guys, there's no tomorrow. Word is ending tomorrow. So you doing today, okay? Whatever you say, you do it today. You can make excuses all day long, or you do it. So for me, I developed that, still not a master of it. I would say only equip 30% of momentum building skills. And one is strong mindset, guys. It's that at the end of the day, you know that this is something that will give you a purpose, give you a meaning. So for example, for me, making video is not me looking at myself, feeling that mental orgasm that, oh, I look so great in camera. Sometimes I don't even have makeup on. I was like, oh, let me make a video and let me talk out loud. And people will be like, you literally said nothing. And I was like, yeah, but at least I post something. But that's not my point. My point is actually building the momentum, whatever you're doing right now. If you committed to a hobby or a habit, for example, you're a student and you wanted to find an internship. I think your career services already tell you what to do during winter, but a lot of people, I know we're lacking as students. We like leisure, right? And we don't really get the best guidance. I swear, if college teach you how to actually be disciplined and accountable, everybody will be unstoppable. But it's just because we don't hold ourselves to a higher standard, which sometimes I don't. So I'm at fault too. Yeah, with that being said, if you are a data analyst students, which is which is my major, you do data, you do coding every day. So a lot of people use LeetCode, and by the end of 2 months, you probably already are able to solve a lot of questions. So it's very simple stuff. It's not rocket science, guys. It's just like how you should do it. And my suggestion is that you look at why you're doing this, because a lot of time your goal has to be emotional attached. Like, you have to be emotionally attached to your goal. That's why sometimes even if you don't think the action worth it, you need to think about the end goal worth it. Okay, so for example, for me, is that really adding value and building a healthy community when people can share their self-improvement in their 20s. So that's my goal. So even though right now I don't feel like the action it's pleasant, I still keep going. And for a lot of people, some very big dreamers, they put some really big goals, like for example, retired parents by a certain age. They put a time deadlines on it. So it gives them purpose, it gives them fuel, even though today doesn't feel like something is gonna happen. But just keep believing that you do it every day. You build that momentum. It's like building a muscle, because sometimes it becomes so automatic, let me tell you, that you don't even think it's a hustle anymore. Imagine every day we go to wash our face, take a shower. That's something we program our brain to do it. If we can program our brain to, like write something on everyday basis, doing something everyday basis, it will become automatic. You'll start autopiloting all these actions. Like, you're not in that hustle stage. You're pretty much in the automation stage. I'm not talking about you need to make yourself in robots, but pretty much you want to build that momentum. But yeah, that's it for today. I realized I have my blanket on my knee for a long time. Oh my lord, this lighting is like really bad at the end. But thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna do some reading before I sleep, but good night.